What is up, Packers fans? Welcome back to another edition of the Packer People Top 300 tiered list. I'm your host, Jacob Morley. Today, we're going to be talking about the tight end position. Before we get into that, with every position, I've been really honest with you guys talking about, hey, we either know a lot about this, about their historical data, or we don't know a ton about it. Tight end is kind of one of those positions that we don't know a ton about it, and we'll walk through that. We'll kind of look at historically who they've taken and kind of where they fit in all of this. But before we do that, let's we got to mention, guys, go buy the draft guide if you haven't bought it yet. The draft guide powered by Packer Report. Get your hands on one of those. That is where we're getting this information from. The Packer People Top 300 list is the first feature article in that. So get your hands on that. Really appreciate the positive feedback we've gotten from people so far. It's a good book. It's a good product. I think you'll enjoy it. And in fact, if you have it and you enjoy it, drop a comment and I'll give you a shout out on tomorrow's video. I'll give you a shout out on Twitter, all that stuff. Just really appreciate the support, and anything you guys can do to promote it helps us a lot. So without any further ado, let's talk about these tight ends. What are they typically looking for? Again, not really sure. And I'll tell you kind of how we got to where we are now. You look back at this team historically, Ron Wolf, Ted Thompson, Goody, tight ends that they've taken, going way back to like Bubba Franks, was not a great athlete. Just wasn't. Richard Rodgers was not a great athlete. Jermichael Finley actually didn't test like super well. Like a 4.7, 4.8 type guy. Obviously was a better athlete than that on the field. And then you look at Jay Sternberger was an average athlete. Josiah DeGuara was small and an average athlete. And then it's like a switch flipped in 2023 when they took Musgrave and Kraft, because both of those guys were phenomenal athletes. I mean, 90th percentile athletes. And I don't know if something changed or Green Bay just kind of got with the program, recognizing if you're not from Mars as an athlete playing that position, it's really hard to be successful in the NFL. It just is. If there's any position you can point to with RAS scores and say like, hey, this correlates to the most success in the NFL, tight end is up there with any of them. Size and speed. Like if you don't have those two things, it's going to be really hard to be successful in this league. I think Kent Lee Platty tweeted out a while ago, the only tight end that's made the Pro Bowl that's had like less than a 5 or maybe even a 6 RAS score was Jordan Reed out of Florida, played for the Washington Commanders, and was a really good player, but didn't test well and was kind of an undersized guy. Might have been hurt when he tested too. Who knows? But that's kind of what they're looking for now in this year's draft class. Guys that are in that threshold of just like upper echelon athletes. It does narrow it down still quite a bit. I'd say looking at it, it's like 1/4 of the guys in this year's draft class qualify, even if you're just doing RAS scores. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this year's draft class that are just clean fits across the board. They check every single box. We're going to talk about 2 of them. The Packers, at this position, do they need a tight end? Do they even need to take one early? Probably not early. If they took one early, like let's say they fall in love with a Colston Loveland and he's sitting there at 23, and they just say, "Gosh, he is a top 10 pick for us. He's a first rounder. He's our last in that tier." They've shown that they could do stuff like that. If they just think he is that much better than everyone else on the board, they might do it. And history would tell us, quite frankly, they should do it, because that's typically where you get your blue chip players, is if you kind of forget about need and you just take the best guy available. It's cliche, but it does work. So that would be interesting if they took a guy like that. I think it would speak to what they kind of think about Musgrave. But if we remember back to him, his rookie year, my goodness, they were force feeding him the ball. I think that should tell you how they view him and what they think about him. And so don't sleep on him, I wouldn't say, for his 3rd year in this league as well. But guys that are big-time fits, I'll give you 2 of them. The first one, he's probably a second round type player that I've even seen some people say sneaking into their top 32. He's in the 50s for us in the draft guide, and that's Mason Taylor out of LSU. And a little bit about his background. You're going to recognize some of the names. He is the son of Pro Football Hall of Fame defensive end Jason Taylor. He is the nephew of Hall of Fame linebacker Miami Dolphins Zach Thomas. So he's got that bloodline. Good. He's got NFL bloodlines and that actually, and I should write something about that. It's interesting to look at guys that are the sons and or grew up around the game. Tend to be more successful once they're in the NFL. They've got those guys to lean on. They've got that experience from them, a soundboard that they can go to. And then on top of that, obviously they're descendants of NFL athletes, not like you and I. So they're built different, as the kids say. So you look at him, he was immediately starting for LSU, playing as a true freshman. And he was a freshman all SEC in 2022. Prototypical build, big time athlete. Like I said, he's kind of linear, but he's a very explosive linear athlete. He can beat you at all three levels. You can get it to him behind the line of scrimmage, intermediate, middle of the field. He also can run that seam as good as anybody in this year's draft class at the tight end position. Does not drop passes, just doesn't. That ball, he's got Velcro for hands. That thing does not hit the ground. Let's see, as a blocker, he's a high effort type guy. I think technique needs to get a little bit better, but the effort is there. The athleticism's there. The size is there. Don't be surprised if Mason Taylor turns into one of those tight ends that can do it all at the NFL level. He's got a lot of fans. Negatives, he does still need to improve in that area as a blocker. He can fall off blocks a little bit, and a lot of that is just technique work, sustaining your block, running your feet, playing to the whistle, all those types of things that guys typically just get better at once they get into NFL locker rooms because you don't see the field. You just don't. If you can't do that stuff. So he also, as a route runner, there are times that he can be a little bit loose in and out of his breaks. You'd like to see him tighten that up. Things that, again, just get him into an NFL room with an NFL coach. Needs to tighten up. The top of his routes can get a little bit sloppy sometimes, a little bit of wasted movement at times, causes him to not create the separation that he probably wants. And when you have a guy that's the level of him as an athlete, he should be creating separation when he's lined up against NFL linebackers and such. So he's someone that if you were to be the Packers pick, they'd have to take him early, probably second round, I'd say, if he's sitting there. That's when they'd have to take him if he's even there in the second round. And I think fans would be a little bit confused about it just because that would be early to take a tight end. But if they do, he's a good one. He's something that could be fun. Just maybe build the plane out of athletic tight ends. I don't know. Likelihood of him being a Packer then is probably not very high because I would be surprised if they do take one that early. The next guy I'm going to give you in this list of 10 guys, I've talked about him before already with Ross Uglum on the tight end preview. So if you've listened to that, you're going to hear this again. But I really like this guy. I really like him as a day 3 type prospect. And that's CJ Dippre out of Alabama, 6'5", almost 260 pounds. Played at Bama. You don't see the field at Alabama if you don't at least put forth great effort as a blocker. I think for him, when you pair, what he can do and what he could be, he's the type of guy that I would love to see on day 3 because, again, he's a high-level athlete. He's not a finished product anywhere in his game. Even as a blocker, you'd like to see him come in and be like that third tight end that can just move people in the run game, be good in pass pro. He's not there yet. He's not – I wouldn't say he's like a guy that's just going to just mash people in the run game, but he could be. You see glimpses of it on his film. So he's someone that I think would be really exciting, not only in the passing game or run game, but in the passing game as well. He has a lot of potential to be an all-around tight end. He is someone that if he hits, he's kind of your prototypical day 2, day 3 type guy. That's a really good athlete that all of a sudden 2 or 3 years down the road, you're like, oh, where did this guy come from? He's putting up good numbers in the NFL. He's kind of that type of guy that, you take your lottery ticket and you cash it in on him and you hope that he can develop into a star in this league. He has star potential. That's the type of athlete he is. Hasn't really done it yet. A lot of these guys haven't, but At worst case scenario, I think you've got a guy that is going to be able to play all 4 special teams immediately. You have a guy that is at the end of your bench as a developmental type that even if Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave both reach their ceiling, hit their heads on the potential, he's a guy that you still want to develop. You always want to be churning these guys out. I think tight end is one of the positions in the league that is a cheat code. If you have someone that you can keep on the field all 3 downs, that can block and receive and be a threat in all facets of the game, those guys are super duper rare. And there's a reason that guys, teams that have some of the best tight ends in the league, the 49ers, they're always good. The Kansas City Chiefs, they're always good. The Baltimore Ravens, they're always good. And a lot of that, it has to do with the tight end play that they have. It's a really, really valuable asset to have on your team, because those guys that can play at that level just frankly don't exist that often. So you got to take swings at him. And I think Dippre is a swing. He's still only 21 years old too. That's another thing. He's got a lot of meat left on the bone as far as his development. So that is it for us today at the tight end position. Thank you guys for listening. Again, if you have bought the draft guide and you are enjoying what you are reading, drop a positive comment in the comment section. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to this YouTube page, doing everything that you need to do, all that stuff. Go follow the Packer Report Twitter account at Packer Report 66, making sure you're getting all this information. And again, drop a positive comment here or on X or Twitter or whatever. We'll give you a retweet. We'll give you a shout out just because we really do appreciate you guys, and we appreciate the support that we have been getting from this community for this draft season and previous draft season. So we love you guys. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. Be excellent to each other. And until next time, go Pack Go.